अस्सलाम वालेकुम। अजहर खान कनेक्टिंग कम्युनिटीज विद अजहर खान में आज न्यूज़ कनाडा में और आज यू टॉक पे मैंने प्रोग्राम कर रहा हूँ यू टॉक विद सलमान खान और हमारा टॉपिक है आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड फ्यूचर कैरियर्स। Welcome, Salman.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Salman is an operations manager in and also taking care of the sales in Advantix Robotics. Salman done his software engineering from Ontario Tech University and have a very vast experience in cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. Welcome, Salman.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the
तो
show.
सलमान, हमारी ऑडियंस जो आपको देख रही है,
Right.
can you please elaborate about how important artificial intelligence and how our youth can make their future careers?
Right. I think artificial intelligence in today's world is very, very important. I'm pretty sure if you guys are in any type of field right now currently, whether that's real estate, whether that's whether you're in the industrial side of things, or whether you're in any type of field, even marketing, even if you're in engineering, AI is everywhere. It's in every aspect. Even if you watch Netflix, there's AI involved in that. Even if you're on social media, there's AI involved in that. So I think if you are not aware, especially as a youth, about AI, and even in general, it's something that you should be aware about because it's our entire future right now.
So, Salman, tell me about artificial intelligence. Basic people know just about the chat GPT and
Right.
something like that, a very, very basic,
Right.
or the new, tools coming. But as if those youth who is watching you in grade 10 or 11,
Right.
how can they think about to go in this field, and what are the academic qualification they need, what are the, where you are thinking there, if they join the university in this field, and they pass out after 4 to 5 years, where the industry going, and what is the future of artificial intelligence?
Right. So I guess first of all, like in order to understand what AI is, something that's relatable to everyone, I can give you guys a simple example of what AI is, and then a more complex example. So a simple example is if you guys go on YouTube or you go on Netflix, anything you watch, it builds a credit history of what you're watching, and it recommends you to watch the type of stuff that you've been watching. Right now, of course, somebody else can go on your account and watch stuff, and according to that person, they'll give you those recommendations because there's no way of verifying whether that's you or not because it's your account. That's a basic example of AI. Something a little bit more intermediate than that is you have ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is also an AI source, and what it is essentially is any input you're giving it, whether you have a question, whether you have a problem that needs solving, you can put it into ChatGPT and it'll solve it for you. It also builds a credit history. So if you go into ChatGPT and you tell it, like under your account, if you tell it, I work here, I do this, I do this, I do this for my workplace as well, it'll build a history on that. So in the future, if you ask it any question and you don't give it any reference about your past, like where you're working, what you're doing, anything like that, you don't need to do that. It'll give you an answer according to your previous inputs because it'll understand exactly what you're doing and it keeps that memory inside it. And then, of course, once you get more into technical AI, then you're looking at like data servers and you're looking at AI servers and how they're coordinating together to like keep quantum computings and stuff like that going.
So, Salman, your field is robotics, right?
Right.
What project you are doing nowadays, and where you are seeing the robotics in industry, in today's industry?
Right. So there's a project I'm working on right now. I'm not allowed to disclose where or what company we're working with, but basically, essentially, we have a 600,000 square foot warehouse. In that warehouse, there's about 35 people that are order pickers. They pick orders, they assemble orders, and they ship them out. Now there's 3 shifts. So with our technology, what we're able to do is we're able to replace those 35 people with only 5 people being there. And that's just essentially once we get the solution in there for them to supervise it. So now rather than having 35 people per shift, you only need 5 people for those 3 shifts. And since we implement those robotics in there and we have the AI coordination, we use something called heat map. So the heat map is able to detect like what objects we're looking for, what we need to assemble. Something in the warehouse space you call is lines per hour. Typically, you have 80 to 120 lines per hour for order picking with typical people. Once you integrate our AI solution in there and you add robotics, that increases to 5 to 600 lines per hour. So something that was being done in 5 hours of time is now being done in 30 minutes.
Wow. So, how, if you do the comparison before and after analysis,
Yeah.
and you can say what is the efficiency of the robots, what is the compliance, what is the service rate, all key performance indicators. So, if you look the dashboard, what you're showing to your client, the performance wise with the robotics.
Right. So basically, what we show to our clients is we look at the existing data from before, and then we look at the data that we can change with our solution being in there. So before we tell them that this is how much your labor cost is going to be, this is how much your overhead is on that labor cost, this is how much stuff you're inputting, this is the outbound and the inbound station, how much efficiency. Because a lot of clients, what happens is they're able to only take a certain amount of orders, and they can't go above that capacity. They're limited. And then the other really big issue right now, and especially the Toronto warehousing market in Ontario, is that real estate is very expensive. It's about $18 per square foot, $18 to $20 in prime locations. So with our solution, because you don't have order pickers, it's all robots and stuff. You can start. You can like if this is a warehouse space, you can, rather than having aisles, you fill up all those aisles and you go up to maximum height. If the clear height ceiling is 40 feet, 35 feet, then you stack all the way to the top. So basically, rather than having two warehouses, 100,000 square feet, 100,000 square feet warehouses, we're able to merge those two warehouses in just 100,000 square foot warehouse of space.
As you said that previous that warehouse have 35 employees and now robots are handling. So, how you see by cost wise, like the HR issues, definitely somebody becomes sick, somebody have to go to vacation, and how expensive it is for a middle or a small business owner to implement if they are Amazon supplier or they are some other supplier can implement this and with this technology.
Right. So with our technology, of course, we look at your business first and we see how your business is doing, what type of numbers you're doing. According to that, we give you a quotation and we tell you like what we need to put there. Now, a lot of clients, they might be struggling. They might not have that amount of money because of robotic solutions, especially integrated with AI into the WMS software, they are pretty expensive. So what we do to break down the cost is we start small and then we give the client a lease to own option. So once they start leasing and you divide that between 5 to 7 years, then they make very small installments. And once that business starts picking up, then even with our robotic solution, you can start expanding. You add more robots, you add more shelves, you add more workstations. That way you get more and more orders and you make more and more money. So it becomes a lot more affordable.
How your robots in the food industry, in the restaurants,
Right.
and how you seeing the performance of the robots? Because I go to several sushi restaurant and some dining restaurant,
Right.
and they are taking the order, they are supplying the orders. How the owners giving the feedback about the robotics implementation in restaurants?
So another segment of robotics we do is restaurant food serving robots, and you might have seen them at many restaurants, many sushi restaurants. There's a restaurant called Pizza Karachi. They have our robots, and then there's multiple other restaurants that also have our robots. So the whole segment of those robots there is to help the people to serve the table. So now our biggest contract is with the Recipe Group. So Recipe Group has Chalet and they have Eastside Mario's and all these other type of restaurants. So what happens is you get a table all of a sudden in the restaurant business that comes for like 8 to 10 people. Now, rather than that person running back and forth, the server, you can use the robot to go from one location to another, just making it one trip rather than multiple different trips, right? So it becomes handy in that sense, but it also becomes handy in like bringing back the dirty dishes or cleaning the tables. And especially in the restaurant industry, it's very unpredictable. So sometimes you only have around two staff members or two servers. This happens in many case scenarios, and all of a sudden it gets really busy. So it helps with that extra hand, but it also helps with things like bringing back the dirty dishes. And then there's also the entertainment factor. There's a lot of kids that really like the robot, and they'll be like, I want to go to this restaurant because this restaurant has a robot. And it does things like sing happy birthday and stuff. And of course, right now we don't have the arms and stuff, so it's not completely on its own. It's always associated with a person. But the goal is just to have a helping hand to make things more efficient.
How you feel personally, like working with robots, and how the world is going toward technology, man, since you completed your IT education and now you are in robotics industry, where you are seeing the world is going in robotics?
Right. So I did a specialization of IoT in my studies, and I also did a specialization of manufacturing engineering. And it's kind of interesting how it's all coming together now because within manufacturing engineering, when you use the CAD softwares, that's kind of what our robots use to break everything down as well. So understanding the technical side of things is very important. I think in the next upcoming future, AI and robotics, they're at that point where they're merging. And once they merge, a lot of the industries, a lot of warehouses, a lot of offices, a lot of different aspects of, I guess, even manufacturing and warehouse space are basically going to start using robotics, and they're going to start cutting down basically like human interventions, right? So you're going to have less of a labor force and you're going to have more of a robotic labor force. And then with AI, you can already see that for used to have salespeople, you used to have like sales agents. Now there's AI sales agents. It's an AI that's able to call 100, 500, 1,000 people in one day and able to book appointments for you. It's able to reserve appointments for you. It's able to sell for you. In the restaurant industries, many restaurant industries now are also getting AI calling. So if you call a restaurant to place an order, it's AI picking it up for you. So I think to stay intact with AI and robotics, especially in the next coming 5 to 10 years, it's very, very important because it's going to be everywhere.
So, thank you, Salman, for a very detailed answer, technical answer. Uh, are you meeting your customers after your after sales services, and what's their feedback? Are they happy, or how they cope with the robotics, especially those who implement first time in their restaurants?
Yeah, so what we do is we don't just sell you the robot and step away. Something we really like to do is like we stay engaged with you. We check up on you guys. We provide our services. We provide our technical services, and we make sure that you guys are using the product to maximize its efficiency. And because of that, most of our clients are actually referred. We don't even like go out to sell to many different clients. We get a lot of referrals because of that reason. We try to work with the customer not just before but even after. That way, we create this understanding and this relationship which lasts a lot longer.
So, Salman, what is your message for our youth, those who are looking their future and their careers? What the advice, like when they go to high school, how good they should be in math or physics, or what are the academic courses they should select in order to go directly to the university and go in a right direction?
Right. I think if you're going into university and you're at that stage when you're in high school, you don't know what to do. I would say stick to the technical side. So make sure you do all your engineering courses. Make sure you do your maths, your physics, your chemistry. Those are just you. Even if you don't like chemistry, it's not that you would need that later on. It's that you need that to get into the universities. And once you get into the university, you can specialize in manufacturing engineering. You can do robotic engineering, you can do mechatronics, you can do IT tech management, you can do software engineering, you can do computer engineering. But I think with software, it's also a key component to stick to hardware. So you should be able to study a little bit of AI, but also do specializations like IoT, like something I did. So you're able to also deal with the hardware and the software. That way, once you do work somewhere, you get that job, you're able to have that technical understanding that people that don't really understand that are just coming from a software background, just so you can have a job that's lasting. And then the other thing I would also recommend is you should get more involved. If you have a robotics club, if you have like things like youth leadership programs and stuff like that, just because understanding the technical side of things is one thing, but being able to communicate, being able to talk to other people, help making sure that they can understand what you're saying is a big part of all of this coming together. So yeah,
So you mean that those who are looking these type of career, they should good in communication and
right.
leadership program, and we all know that youth leadership program definitely helping those to convey the message effectively on time, especially when you go on sales and operations, rather you're working with your colleagues, or rather you are giving the orders, or rather you are discussing or finalizing a business deal. That's so important. Very good. So this is robotic side, but one another out thing which I want to ask you, that how you have to balance your work and personal life. And those who are very much engaged in robotics, will they? You suggest them to go to in sports or somewhere, because just to connect with the nature and fitness. How you think about that, like work and balance?
I think early on in your career, you should definitely be working a lot. This shouldn't be an excuse for you not to work or just work 9 to 5, and then once you're done, you're done. You go home and you relax. I think hard work, even if you're smart, is definitely very necessary. But there should be a healthy balance, because you go to university and you're studying, you're playing sports, you're going to the gym. Just because university provides you that atmosphere, right? You have a gym inside, you have a sports field, you have basketball courts and stuff like that. But once you get to your professional life and once you start working and stuff, that might not become much of a habit, and a lot of people fall out of that just because they get so focused on what they're doing. And that it might not be easily accessible. But I think if you can just dedicate 1 hour or 2 hours of your day, just to be able to go to the gym a little bit, just to take your minds off, just to make sure you're healthy as well. Play a little bit of sports. Go talk to your parents, talk to your family. Just have some time dedicated for that aspect of your life.
Thank you, Salman. Today, our program You Talk with Salman Khan. Thank you, Salman,
Thank you.
to give us a 360-degree view, that what's your career, what's your fitness, what's sports, what's your future in robotics. And I think you very detailed explained to our audience, especially youth, regarding artificial intelligence and future careers. So, like Salman, many others talented youth keep coming in our Aaj News Canada program. If you have any specialty, if you achieve something in sports, in technology, in academic, in art, in music, in science, please do not hesitate to contact me. Aaj News Canada. My name is Azhar Khan. I'm a Chief Operating Officer of this Aaj News Canada, and we always looking a talented youth, a youth who achieves something or share the best practices. My number is 647-886-5386. So please contact me if you have any talent, anything which you want to share with our youth, because sharing is caring. Sharing the best practices make a healthy community, and healthy community make a healthy society, healthy country. And same thing, you go and you raise the flag, which is always honor for us and for your parents and your family. Keep watching Connecting Communities with Azhar Khan, and my this program, especially You Talk. Thank you once again,
Thank you.
Salman,
Thank you.
and thank you to talk to us. Thank you, talk to Aaj News Canada. Stay tuned.